Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Second Guessing with Stressan. I'm your host, Garrett Williams, aka Texans commenter. Yeah, man. So I was obviously wanted to go live, but I was just laying in my bed at the hotel room, just catching up on all the clips and stuff. And I was like, man, I'm tired, but figure I had to come back and give you guys a recap fresh off day two. I will be flying back to Houston tomorrow, but another great day, a lot of good stuff. Had a lot of great interviews, a lot of takeaways. So I'll kind of just, entertain the chat. If you could, as always, if you're on YouTube, comment in the chat, maybe just, tell me you're blessing or stressing, whatever it may be. It kind of helps with the algorithm. Obviously, likes as well. If you're on Instagram, I'll read comments on there the best I can. But at some point when I share, I'm on one screen. It's hard for me to do it. So best way to do it is YouTube. If not, X or Facebook kind of populates on there as well. So, but yeah, and as always too, if you don't mind, follow me on all my socials at Texans Commenter or at Houston Stressans on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. The website HoustonStresses.com. I wore my polo today. My Houston Stressans. The mirror's wrong. There we go. Adidas polo. And I have a hat too. I didn't wear, but met a lot of cool people. Met Jeremy Fowler, reporter. Chopped it up with him. Saw the guys from PFF again. Dalton Wasserman, Trevor Sikkema, and met Max as well. Yesterday, I met the guys from the 33rd team, Sam and Steve. Now, yeah, I've been meeting all kind of people. Lance Zierlein, saw him on the flight yesterday. Been seeing him around there. But yeah, it's been a good time, man. So I'll kind of get through some comments, get us into it, and I'll get to my recaps, observations, and share some of the interviews and whatnot that I saw. But shout out Luca Alfredo on IG says, yo. My guy Carson JW on the IG says, what's up? And then we got Luca says, Blessan, appreciate that. And let me do this right here. The comments on the screen. ZZZT on X says, follow back for a fellow fan. I will try to do my best to do that. If you leave like a separate comment somewhere, I'll try to get to it. But Big DQ says, yo, what's good, brother? My guy Brandon Jennings Dunker seemed like a Kaylee Popovich guy. Jennings Dunker seems like an everybody guy. That dude, man, I'm so bummed. I'm so mad at myself. So, I stayed up late again, just content, looking at stuff, researching stuff. And today was like media day in the morning, but they sent like an email where like it was only quarterbacks at first, and then the defense wouldn't be there. So I showed up late to it. And I get there, and it was crazy when I'm walking into to like the convention center. I'm like walking in as everyone's walking out, and I like hold to open the door to like let a few guys out, and it's like, person after person. I'm just like holding the door, and I didn't mind it because I'm just like looking at like all the players. I'm looking at like every scout and personnel from every team just walking right by me. So I'm like, yeah, come on out, And then eventually I squeeze in and like see them. But I guess like there was a session with like the first team, um, you know, had just gotten done. Like they all meet with them. They have like all these rooms in this convention center and have like private one-on-one meetings. So it's like I'm seeing like every team, 4 or 5 guys, and then players, just like a parade of people. I'm like, this is insane, dude. But then, I found my buddy Johnny Dell. Shout out Johnny, the 49ers guy, who's an absolute freaking guru. We'll have some joint things leading up to draft. Maybe one recapping our thoughts from the Senior Bowl, and then just the draft in general. But this he's a genius, and he's a great guy. Shout out Johnny. We kind of hung out most of this week. But then you had to go the other way to get down to it and go down the escalator, and you're down like in this like, dimly lit room with like food and beverages. But over there, like they would have players come in and they would have at the podium and just around. So, but I missed Jennings Dunker, and I missed him the day before, when he went after practice, he didn't come out in the field. And then same thing today. But I'll have to go back on Twitter, and I've seen some clips of him we can play, but he seems, if you look at him and you kind of hear the clips, he kind of sounds as to what you would expect as far as personality wise. But Yeah, he seems kinda like Keelan Rutledge, just like a freaking strap it up guy. I mean, Jake Slaughter, same thing. I guess pretty much all these O linemen are like that, you know? They're just like, "I wanna play ball, I'm tough, I'm physical." But yeah, so today, I specifically and again too, just like yesterday and today, it's hard to like watch everything. And I feel like I got a lot the first practice, I forget on my head now, American or national team, but that's where I feel like I got the most because I'm watching O line and you have Dunker and you have Keelan on the same team, and I believe Slaughter. So you got like three of the guys that we like potentially as linemen for the Texans on that team. And then the next one, they're still good players to watch, but yeah, so I would say Jennings Dunker definitely seems like it. He is from Iowa. They ran a lot of wide zone, but he's a right tackle. That's like undersized arms or wingspan potentially, I believe. So, he's likely looked at being kicked into right guard. So he played plenty of right guard today. I don't know if he played center today, but he said he wanted to in a presser. Keelan Rutledge played plenty of, I think, both guards, and then played center as well. And I believe last night on here when we were talking, we were like showing some of the clips. Shout out Abdul Ghani on IG, my guy. He says fire. um, we were talking about some of the clips of the one-on-ones like in the trenches, and yesterday on both practices like the D lines dominated, and that was like the strength of this Senior Bowl going into it is what all the pundits or whatever are saying. But I do think there was an element of the sense that um, the D line had the advantage because they were also not full pads; they were had shorts on. I think that's part of it, but then I also think too, just like from the rusty standpoint of like you go from not playing for a while, and if you're an O lineman, getting back to physical and contact as opposed to a D lineman, you just freaking, you kind of got the advantage there. And then they did do a little bit more of and the one-on-ones they did like double teams, and they seemed to like mix it in whether it was run or pass, whereas straight up just one-on-one pass rush, obviously if you're the pass rusher, you have a straight up advantage because it's a pass and you just freaking run. But now if it might be a run, you kind of hesitate a little bit. But on the shout out Bray Rob on IG. But yeah, so John Patty on YouTube, Seattle has been given Levi Stadium home luxury locker room, even though they are visiting team. Visitor locker room at Levi is tiny with low ceilings. Good to know. Okay. Uh, Giovanni says, "Who's your favorite Big Nasty so far?" It's got to be Jennings Dunker, dude. Um, and I got clips. I posted some. I got more. I'll probably try and do a montage. And I keep waiting. They're not uploading the film. I want to start like doing the film. We could break down the film here and go through all the sessions. But Jennings Dunker was mauling people today in one on ones and like the double team drills, and finishing, dude. Like you can tell he's got that attitude about him. And I was just listening to Todd McShay, um, and Munch, I believe I'm misremembering his co-host's name right now, but he was talking about how Dunker is like a reps eater, like he's just getting every rep, like guard, tackle, whatever. He's like going up there time after time. But him and Keelan Rutledge, dude, the two guys that most of us have been keying in on, no pun intended, both I thought today largely balled out, dude. Like they both mauled. They're both physical. They both are aggressive. They both finish. Keelan, same thing. Like, dude, I mean, he's got the attitude, bro. He had double teams where somewhere he was the center and mauled a guy, and he was the guard and worked with the center and was just pushing the guy out of the picture and like going to the whistle and like almost past the whistle. There were some plays on team where they were mixing it up, both doing good on team from what I saw, where some where Dunker was at right tackle, some where he's at right guard, some where Keelan was at, I believe, left guard and then center. And from what I saw, obviously not can't see all of it perfectly, but I feel like they both did pretty much flawless today in team as well. I didn't really feel like they got beat. I felt like they had some yesterday where they both had their missed ones and in one on ones. Keelan did lose one on one that I saw, but it was a play where they first did it and then it was an offsides by the D lineman, and he reset real quick and then do it again. So it's like, the guy went offsides, and then it kind of messes it up, and you get beat inside, and he was like, "Dang, I got beat." But like that was the one rep that I saw that he got beat on. But there's one play I posted a clip. It was Keelan at center, and it was Dunker at right guard, and it was like some kind of counter where both of them pulled to the left and led block, and it was like a big lane for the back, and it was 5 yards or so before he got touched. Um, but yeah, they got that dog mentality. Jake Slaughter, he's a dog. The center, so he's I interviewed him yesterday. Grown man, dude, just wants to play football. Saw him around the day, said what's up to him. I saw him today. I was like, hey man, like that video interview I did with you yesterday, which like wasn't even like crazy. I mean, my questions probably suck. I was like, but I was like, dude, that thing's like doing pretty good. Like people are loving you, bro. Like, oh man, appreciate it. So I thought that was cool, but but yeah, so and then also Sam Hecht, I believe, is let me get my roster up right here so I can make sure. The center from hold on, Senior Bowl. From Kansas State, evidently had a pretty good day yesterday. And I think he had a decent day today. I saw some reps where he might have lost. And so as far as him, that's another viable center. Let me just go through the roster here. Let's do it like this. I might, yeah, I'll get to the Stanford tight end on IG. That's my new man crush. Asking Leighton Gonzo. So I tried to watch the tight ends closer in team. Didn't really see a lot of it, but it's also hard too because they don't throw to them that much. It depends on what happens. Tried to watch the blocking. I didn't really get to zero in that much. I also was watching Will Kemerek, I believe. I can't pronounce his last name, from Ohio State, who I interviewed afterwards. I'll play the clip for you guys here. Um, just from my naked eye, like I feel like he didn't do as good today, and maybe even Sam didn't do quite as good as I thought he might have done. I feel like I got to watch some of the one-on-ones where he made some catches. He might have he got defended on one-on-one. So again, like I don't want to make too strong of an opinion on certain players without being able to like zero in and watch. But I mean, just like when I interviewed Sam, I believe it's pronounced Roush, or I need to figure it out. Anyways, Sam Roush from Stanford. I'm sorry, Sam. I interviewed him today, and first last night, this morning, I'm listening to Todd McShay, and he's raving about him. And he talks about. I'll play the clip for you guys here in a minute, but he's raving about him and how much of an elite blocker he is. And so I see him, I interview him, I tell him about that. But like once I just see the guy, I'm like, this guy is a freaking like he's exactly what you imagine. Like when you imagine like the perfect tight end, he's like I want to say like 6'6", tall, lean, but also like big and muscular. He's from Stanford, like a tight end factory, well spoken, like but also like has that dog in him too. Like he just looks like an athlete, bro. Like, and I just walked away like, oh my God, like this guy, this is it. I could just be, falling for the glaze or the hype or whatever, but I'll be excited to watch film on him and then hopefully get the film of him in practice. So, um, but yeah, so I'll get into the tight ends here in a minute. Noah Johnson Hoops, how does it feel to meet the GOAT, Nick Caserio? Yeah, I went in great detail yesterday, but I'm still on cloud nine. I didn't see Nick or Frank Ross or Cole Popovich out there. And so I don't know if they were there or maybe went to the meetings and left but yeah, I'm on cloud nine about meeting him. I still, again, like I can't iterate enough, like how like awesome of a dude he was. Like he like recognized me. Like he knew who I was. Like, hey, what's up? I'm so. He's like, yeah, I know. And so but like I would have just thought too, like, if I'm some guy online thinking I know it all and criticizing him, that he'd be like, all right, bro, like you're a loser. But he was cool shit, dude. Him and Frank Ross, like I felt like one of the boys. I'm like, this is insane. Maybe I caught him at a good time. They were just happy because the John Carroll guy is balling, who balled out again today. Um, but yeah, that was sweet. Let's see what else. X Authentic says RJ Maryland's a sleeper tight end. So yeah, I haven't really dove into a lot of the other prospects yet. I kind of focus in on the Senior Bowl, and now like as we go on, I can kind of go back and look at it all. So, um, forgot where I was going with that. So let's see here. We got let's see. Yeah, so Brandon Halam says Dunkers reminds me a bit of the Cody Mock from the Bucks, who's from North Dakota State. I think you're just judging because he's a ginger. But no, there's a theme there. These gingers, Keelan, you could call a ginger. Obviously Dunker is a ginger. Cody Mock is a ginger. I'm trying to think. The guy we all wanted last year, Gray Zabel, he's a ginger. He's pretty good. These gingers got a pretty good track record as far as being good offensive linemen. I mean, that could be a sound philosophy. We just mentioned 4 to 5 O linemen off the top of our head that are redheads that are badasses, dude. Like, imagine if you had an all ginger O line, it would be the best O line in history. Hopefully, that's not offensive to anybody. I mean, at times I can be considered a ginger, so I'm not trying to offend anybody with that. Uh, Omar Villarreal, did you see any Texan staff today? I did not. And so on that note, too, there was the news that Jake Moreland was fired, the tight ends coach. I guess it's surprising, not surprising. I believe it was Aaron Wilson and Nick Casario. Aaron Wilson, or it came that D'Amico meets, says everything's going to be evaluated, and then it's Casario saying there might be some changes or something like that. He says something to her like, okay. And then Aaron Wilson reports, I've heard that there will be some changes. Jake Moreland's gone. You have to think about potentially running back and receiver coach now, potentially, or even Gerard Johnson at quarterback. I hope not. I know Gerard Johnson's getting a lot of heat on here. I'll just say it now. Like I've told y'all, but like my bias, like he's my friend, and I know him personally. Like I used to work out with him. I know his mind and the game and his knowledge. I know the type of guy he is. But I mean, I just don't like to speak on anybody's job in general. Like even when I'm mad about Casario, like I never just say fire this guy, fire that guy. But whatever they do, they do. I get though, like if we think that or someone else thinks that Stroud has regressed in his technique, and then you say, well, that's the quarterback coach. Like I get that logic. But I personally, just from my own do, like obviously biased, like I mentioned. So that's why I'm not like big, and I don't like talking bad about any of these guys anyhow. But we'll see what shakes out. I'm sure there'll be a presser. I feel like last year we had the initial presser, and then maybe a week or two after there was like firings, and then you heard another presser. So I'm not sure when the next public speaking will be for D'Amico, but we'll see what happens there. And then let's see here. We got Justin Words on X. Don't know much about inside football. How many of these players are ready to go pro 52-man roster and go in as a starter? So for the Senior Bowl, I think they're like aiming for like up to 50 to get drafted, and then I guess from there it just depends on the player, the fit, the scheme, and then how productive they are. But I mean, this part of it, like this is the here and the now. We're focused on this, and I think that's part of us as fans too. Like I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. Like draft this guy, and lately in recent years for us and other teams in this world of fantasy football and whatnot, like you're starting to see younger guys play sooner and be impactful, but that doesn't mean that it's an all the time thing. Like I know we all get frustrated when Jalen Noel doesn't play, but maybe there's more to it. Like maybe he doesn't know this or that, or not a good blocker, or whatever it may be, or still needs to develop. Like even Higgins, he played a lot and didn't get the ball quite as much, or didn't play. He didn't put up the stats we might have hoped for, but like maybe he's still developing. Maybe he didn't really know the whole playbook, stuff like that. So, but I mean, but you still can scout these guys now and think it doesn't have to be. And that's part of it too, is like we do all this stuff ourselves. And then like, if these guys don't pan out 1 year, like, oh, they all suck. Like, no, dude, like let it take time. Like, I mean, we see it with quarterbacks especially, but so yeah, it's hard for me to answer that fully. Aish kind of poor. Do you think the Texans will get rid of Nick Caley? No, I do not. They have made it known they won't. Brandon Halam says, yep. Nick Casario said he wouldn't, or they wouldn't. And I don't think that they necessarily should, in the life of Colby, enlighten me to the ginger term. Yeah, ginger is redheaded. Um, redheaded O-line. It could be like the red line. Isn't like a saying, like a red line? The red line? Oh, red line is like when you red line, dude. Get an all red O line and call it the red line because they freaking make your heart stop, bro. They'll freaking kill you. Um, I'm corny and cheesy, I know. Brandon says, I mean, yep, because they're both ginger. Um, yeah, that would be sick. Let's see here. Canito says he's stressing because of CJ. That's fair. I'm optimistic it'll pan out, but I get it. It's, definitely, what we saw last, and I can definitely see that. But yeah, let me just go through the roster here. And, I had a piece of paper that I was using, and it's been just in my pocket, in and out for 2, 3 days, and it's just ripped to shreds. So I'm going to have to go online and check it out this way. So we can look at the roster together. This might not be a bad way to do it. And I will share my screen, share screen to the Senior Bowl roster. All right. Um, so I wanted to interview Joshua Cuevas. He's a tight end. And so obviously, I'm trying to look at positions that I think we need. And we talked about it yesterday, but I think I'm pretty much in line with most people. Obviously, the number one pressing need to be offensive line, primarily interior. Obviously, Titus having the flex of playing tackle or guard can make you take a tackle and kick Titus inside. But I haven't really been hyper focusing on tackles, but I think flexibility is something that they might value in guys too. Is somebody like Dunker who can play tackle, even though he might be undersized tackle or a guard. Keelan, someone who can play guard and center. They might like that versatility as well. But yeah, so I think interior line, I think running back, and again too, like running back could be addressed in the draft, and then running back too, I haven't really focused on at the Senior Bowl because it's kind of hard to evaluate them because one, in the running game, you don't really go to the ground full contact, so it's kind of hard to tell. And then two, like the individual drills, you really don't see much. Plus, I've been watching the trenches, but we can still talk about the running backs. I think what I'll do is I'll just go through this roster as a guy's name pops up that triggers any thoughts. I will spit that out and get those thoughts out, and that'll be it. So Joshua Cuevas didn't get to watch him, but potentially a tight end that we could look at from Alabama. I talked to a guy the first day, and he was an Alabama beat writer. I asked him about him. He said that like he was like the heartbeat of their team. There was a game or a couple games where he was out. The team looked terrible. He comes back late in the season, and all of a sudden they look great. So he basically said like that's his argument to show how good he is. But the defensive tackle, Tim Keenan, he's pretty solid. I think he's like a mid to late round guy, but he won some reps that I saw personally one on ones. Pretty much any interior O line that had a maroon helmet, I saw them win a rep. Whether it was Bama, Arkansas, there's a couple other maroon helmets, Indiana, like all those guys were winning across the D line in general. And so Overton, I didn't really look at like he's an edge. I didn't really look at edge players too much. I did see that I saw and then saw more so from other people and online after the fact that Max Iyenanker, Iyenanker, however you say it, the tackle from Arizona State did well and has been doing well. I saw that he didn't even play football in high school, went to a JUCO, has only been playing for 3 to 4 years. And he had a couple good reps, and one I believe was against I forget the edge rusher's name, but a lot of good edge rushers. But he did well. But yeah, so I would say yeah, I'll keep going. Didn't really look at linebackers too much specifically. This guy's a good. This guy I talked about him yesterday. Cameron Ball, defensive tackle from Arkansas, maroon helmet. He made a lot of plays himself yesterday and today. And man, I was about to interview him, and it was like in like the media session today, and this one kid like had him and asked him like fucking a million questions for like 8 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it was. And like by the time he's done, they're like, all right, y'all get out of here, we're done. I'm like, dude, just let me ask 2 questions, bro. Like this guy is just going on and like it's just crazy. Like I'm new to like the reporter ask questions, so like I'm also like self-conscious. Like I don't want to be like disrespectful. So I'm like, hey, even to the player, I'm like, hey, do you mind real quick? I just got a couple quick questions. Like ask 2, 3 questions, boom, I'm done. Like I'm not gonna sit there and like have story time, But I wanted to ask him a question. I kind of listened to his conversation. He seemed like a good character guy, good stand-up guy. He was wearing like a necklace that seemed like of like his grandfather. So he seemed like that was his why, like he was playing for somebody. So yeah, but he's a good player. And then Xavier Sori, or I'm sorry, yeah, Xavier Sori, linebacker from Arkansas. I know like we could maybe potentially use a linebacker down mid to late rounds in the depth. I'm not sure where he's projected. I posted about it, and two or three people talked about, I'm an Arkansas fan and I don't like his tape. He quit and stuff like that a lot, so that may not be swarmy. I actually interviewed him today after practice, but he made plays today. He was one of the standouts. He had a TFL, he had a pick, and then he had a play where he caused a TFL by just absolutely destroying an offensive lineman. So, and then I noticed too, I did watch a little bit of one on ones uh, with the running backs, Mike Washington Jr. Even when they were just throwing the ball first on air, I was like, "Hey, like Johnny, that guy's got hands." And then, sure enough, coming to like running back drills, like this dude was making catches. Mike Washington Jr. I don't know much about him as a running back. I can tell you, I mean, he's 6 foot, 228, so that's good size. He's not doesn't this that profile there tells me that he's not just um, you know a receiving back, but he looks like a receiving back the way he plays. So he could be a normal back who's a very good receiving back. And just going down the list, Josh Cameron, receiver from Baylor. He seems to be like an odd shaped. He's like a stouter, thicker X. I don't know if that's Debo Samuel type, maybe measurements or not, but he's like 6 foot, but 223. So he's like a bowling ball. And he made some plays. He definitely made some plays. The O lineman, Casey Cage from Boise State. I feel like I saw him play good, but also bad. I kind of like maybe he's just like decent, but um, anyhow, the tackle from Boston College, from what I saw and mostly just from other people reporting, Jude Bowery, pretty good. And then just going down the list here. Let me check the comments going up here. Let's see what we got. Shout out Silent and Sarah. Are there any of the O line there going round one? I haven't thought about that, but I mean, I think last year Gray Zabel was like a early third, late second, and then became a first round pick because of the Senior Bowl. So maybe you see something like that with Dunker or Keelan. Or maybe even like I know the A&M tackle had a good week, even though Overton, but I think he might have regressed a little bit today. But it's tough though. You see like this little microcosm, and we want to like evaluate everything based off of this. But like the film is the ultimate deal. But like this environment too is like it's very conducive to the defense. Like defense just line up in a base core. Like everyone knows what cover two, this and that is, and line up and do this. And then offense is all these guys are playing a new system, new verbiage, this motion, that motion, the quarterback, and this. I feel like this is more conducive for defense. Um, and it's just it's chaos, dude. You got guys playing new positions, and so like if you're evaluating, you kind of try to remember that context. And like I think really the main thing that you might pick up is like you understand the structure is chaotic and not normal. And so you just look for guys who just happen to stand out above that, but that doesn't mean that the other guys suck, but that just shows you like who has like the biggest flash raw potential, I guess is what I would say. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't dug in enough to say who would be in the O line in this draft round one, but I would imagine at least one. JJ Sugar says, praying we finally get some good O line guys this next draft. Some of the guys you've been highlighting seem cool. Yeah, agreed. And who knows in free agency? Like I'll start diving into free agency probably early next week. Um, you know, it's probably not like we saw with Ursery. Ursery had an overall good year, but he had his ups and downs, man. Like even late in the year, like I don't think he played well in that Patriots game. Like, they put Milton Williams on him quite a bit and Barmore, and they both had their way with him at times. But I don't think you want too much exposure with young guys. I mean, you do see some young guys kind of come in and have great rookie years, like Gray Zabel, obviously. But I think Tate Ratledge was good, but like he might have been a little rocky too, and it depends on who's around you. But yeah, I mean, think you draft them, and some you can develop and have them rotational, but injuries do happen too. But yeah, I mean, you definitely need at least 1 to 2, and then maybe stack some more in there for depth. And then Lindsay says O-line round 1, no matter what. You know the movie. Great work, Stressans. I appreciate it, Lindsay. Yeah, it's hard to argue not to get an O-lineman round 1. But there's some guys like Caleb Banks, the big D tackle from Florida, who I see right there. I would not be mad if they took him in round 1, and then you get a pretty solid guy in round 2, or you trade back and maybe find a way to get Banks and an lineman. So who knows? My guy Larry Payton says, "Excellent work at the Senior Bowl. Lock in and find us some more swarmers." I appreciate that, Larry. Um, yeah, and it's tough. Like I really personality, like I want to like analyze everything at once and share it all at once, and it's like hard for me to do that. And so I guess I'm kind of slowly dissipating it all, and I got some content I'll be sure to trickle out there, but I do have to go back in the morning tomorrow. I thought that Thursday was like not as big of a day, but I think it's still a decent day practice wise. So kind of bummed I'm missing it, but I'll be glad to get back home to the wife and kids as well. Um, just going through the list here. So let's see who else we got. Obviously, TJ Parker, stud. I think he's like a top 10 for sure pick, potentially. I mean, top 15, maybe top 10 pick out of Clemson. Had a rep, I think it was today or yesterday, with that long arm where he, just stiff arm the crap out of a lineman essentially. And then this guy I heard about, Delby Lemieux from Dartmouth. He was a guy that was like undersized here before, put weight on, kind of came into his size. And that's I didn't really hear much about him though, but like he was like a project piece. And then these two guys I interviewed here. I don't know much about their play, but my friend, my teammate at Stephen F. Austin for a year, Jonathan Packey, and then when I graduated, transferred to Incarnate Word in San Antonio, he was a GA there, and I sat out my first year for medical redshirt, and I was his roommate, and so I was like, living with Packey, and then I lived with Packey like the whole time I was there. He was still a GA. He's the freaking defensive coordinator for Duke. So I'm like texting him like, "Hey, bro, I see two of your guys here." And I interviewed the two of them and talked about, Packy, the defensive coordinator. But yeah, so I mean, they were awesome guys. I think Chandler Rivers is from Beaumont. Vincent Anthony, he's at Edge. I saw him in the one-on-ones, and he was, a feisty, active guy, and that has no surprise to me coming out of Duke under Packy. JJ Sugar, what do you think about Mixon next season? Bring him back or let him walk? I mean, it's tough to say. Like, assuming he's healthy, bring him. I mean, it's not even bring him back. He's under contract. It's keep him. Um, but obviously, you got to see how it is. He seems to be optimistic with this post. But I mean, if Joe Mixon can be, pretty dang close to what we've seen, I mean, he's dynamic, bro. He's a top back. Um, Lemon asked about Mike Washington. I didn't really get to watch much of him, unless I'm kind of having a brain fart here. So, yeah, Mike Washington. Sorry, yeah, he's the back from Arkansas. Yeah, Mike Washington. I didn't really evaluate running backs running the ball too much, but I did see him pass catching, and he was really good at pass catching. And he doesn't seem like he's just a pass catching back. So, I would say, yeah, I'm impressed by Mike Washington Jr. from Arkansas. Kalen Bakes, I talked about the defensive tackle they don't have his height and weight, but he's a monster. I interviewed him the other day. He's swarmy. He's got a swarm mindset. He's got a good mix of swarm and dog. Yeah, he was the one saying like, I'm out here to feed my family. Like this guy's in front of me trying to stop me from feeding my family. And then he's like, my mom's in the stands. I don't want to get embarrassed. So I'm gonna kick this guy's ass. I was like, all right, dude. And he's like, listen to him talk to just other ones. Like he's like has like a fun personality. Like he would be dope to have on the team. Jake Slaughter, we talked about, dog center, would be great. Let's see what else we got. Ted Hurst, the receiver from Georgia State, pretty good. Keelan Rutledge, we all know about Keelan. I got to interview him today. I will play that. I interviewed him the day before yesterday tried some BS Amazon mic that I tested here and worked, did it there, and the sound went in and out. So I was like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. I interviewed you yesterday. My shit, you're my first ever interview. It broke. Can I interview you again?" And he let me do it again. So Tanner Koziel, I wanted to try and interview with him and watch him. Didn't really get to watch him closely or interview him, so I don't have much to report from my own perspective. But I think he did decent. Maybe I saw a couple plays here and there, but it's really hard for me to tell. Um, Gabe Jockus is someone who's had a pretty good uh, 2 days out of Illinois defensive end. Kalen Black, running back from Indiana, he's pretty solid. I did see some runs with him. He's a tough runner. Obviously, Jennings Dunker, him and Graylin are my two crushes right now. I have a third one we'll get to. Let's see here. Trying to see who else. And Bo Stevens is the guard from Iowa. I'm not as high on him from what I saw there as Dunker, but maybe he's decent. But he did get beat a handful of times I saw in one-on-ones. There was a time where him and Dunker did a double team together and took care of business. Tyron Montgomery from John Carroll balled out again. Had a slant route with a great diamond release, wide open. He's getting a lot of separation. He's going up and catching the ball over guys over like top 50 corners. Sam Heck, I talked about, the O-lineman. I actually wanted to go talk to him after to get to interview him. He's a center. And like as I'm approaching him also is Lance Zierlein. And I was like, okay, I should back off of this one. And Lance, is engaging with them, and dad's a former O-line coach. He's an NFL.com draft scout analyst. I'm like, okay. I was kind of waiting to like interview. I was like, all right, they're going to talk. So I'd let it go. And Lance seemed to be impressed by him. I could kind of hear for a second, like him talking about technique and stuff. So, Lance is a pretty good evaluator of offensive line talent, I would say. And then James Brockermeyer, another center who did good. And I interviewed him today from Miami. And he had a great day today. I personally didn't watch him that closely, but like from what I've watched on the reports, overall from a lot of, pundits, he had a great day. So he played for Shannon Dawson, who was my offensive coordinator at SFA. And I asked him about that. And then we got kind of going along the list. Zion Young, the edge from Missouri, he flashed a lot. He is an explosive attacking edge rusher. Justin Jolie, tight end from North Carolina State, who some people comp him to a Harold Fannin Jr. type. Didn't get to watch him specifically to see how he did. I think maybe saw one play where he, was covered by a safety. But I think it was the safety from TCU. I interviewed him. I got to check and post it to see if it's even worth listening to, because as I'm interviewing him, they start sounding the siren like, all right, it's done. I'm like, all right, guys, like I'm trying to finish this. But he seemed like a good, chill dude. I wanted to go, I guess I'll keep going through the list here on the other names. Let's see. Makai Lemon, he's not there. But he's a good player, kind of focusing on the Senior Bowl guys right now. So Cole Payton, quarterback from North Dakota State. Malachi Fields, receiver from Notre Dame. He is more of like an X-type receiver, 6'4", 218. He's had 2 good days, and he had the biggest wow play out of the whole 2 days, where like it was a collective like, whoa, like it was from the Arkansas quarterback. I forget his name. Let me see. Arkansas quarterback. What's your name, bro? Taylon Green. It was a deep post route. He's open. He's got like, half the field to run. He's in the middle of the field and has this whole quarter of the field for the ball to be thrown to. And he throws it high and back behind like this way. And as soon as I saw the ball, I was like, oh, damn, he missed him. He's not going to catch that. But he tracked the ball over his head and just made – I don't even know how he caught it. Like, I feel like he caught it like this, which is crazy. But he may have just, like, went over his head and then just caught it. I don't know. He made, like – the ball should not have been caught. There was one great, ball tracking skills, and 2, like, contortion, coordination, jumping, surviving the ground. everyone was just like, "Holy shit!" Like he caught that. So that was a cool play. Obviously, we're not really in need of receivers, but just highlighting, moments. Will Kakmerick, I should know Kasmerick, I should know Kak Kasmerick. I should know how to pronounce these names. And it's funny. I'm like, hey, Will. Don't say his last name, but interviewed him. Again, I didn't really see how he did. He's not really a receiver tight end, but he's working on it. He can develop into that, but he's a legit blocker. I know that can scare some people, but like I think he's a legit blocker who could be like a H back type for us, who can just maul some people. I'll play his interview in a second. Oklahoma, Jaden Ott. I feel like I saw him make a play uh, receiving. I feel like he made a good catch. He seems like he might be receiving back a little bit. These interior defensive linemen, maroon helmet, Grayson Halton, Oklahoma. He was good. It was so weird. Like anytime a maroon helmet lined up in one-on-ones on defensive tackle, they fucking made a play. So he was pretty solid too. And obviously we're in the market for defensive tackles. But just going through, let's get a couple more. Katron Allen, obviously, is a big name. He is your big physical runner, 5'11", 220 stout. He would be your inside running back. He could be a back that's a good fit for us. I was about to interview him after practice, but then comes walking up Drew Rosenhaus and starts talking to him. And I was like, all right, I will let you talk to Drew Rosenhaus, the most famous agent in the world. And I could hear him saying, like, oh, man, I should have done better today to Drew. But I saw a run with Katron up the middle where he got through, and then he had two defensive backs converging, and he split it. But obviously, it's not full contact. But, like, I feel like he still would have split that even if it was full contact. So, obviously, Katron Allen is a legit back. But I need to do more research. But, like, based off what I said, surface level, he seems like he would fit for us. And then just going along here, let's see what else we got. Let me see. Dustin B. Any guys seem to fit the swarm mentality? Yeah. So as far as guys that I interview, the tight end from Stanford, Sam Rush. What's his face? The talking too much, but yeah, I mean the defensive tackle from Florida, Caleb. I'm blanking out, dude. It's getting late. I'm worn out, but yeah, there's plenty out there. I'll play the interviews, and you'll be able to see those there. But let's see here, going down the list. Yeah, Sam Roosh. Let's talk about him. Yeah, we talked about him. Stud. Um, I'm in love with that idea. I know. I know we have Schultz and then Stover, but Stover's coming off injury, and then you got Brevin, who's more like a little utility guy to me. He's not a true tight end. But you got Nick Cayley. We just fired our tight ends coach. He's a tight ends guy. We want to use tight ends. We haven't had tight end. Like this guy is a true tight end. He is 6'5", 6'6", 260. He is a tight end, dude. He is a specimen, bro. And then Charles Dimmings, he's from my alma mater. I played at Stephen F. Austin. Got to chop it up with him. He seems like he's a good story. Evidently been playing pretty decent. Going down the list, almost to the bottom. I want to say Malik Muhammad from Texas made a pick. And then as far as Bud Clark's been a name I've been seeing a lot. I haven't watched it personally myself, and I've seen some highlights. Bud Clark's been making a lot of plays at safety. And I don't know. I saw he's 6'1", 185, so he's more of the free safety type. He's more like Kalen Bullock, so that would be redundant. I would say, if he was a strong safety type guy, you might look at potentially getting somebody like that as a depth piece later in the draft. But I'm sure his stock might be rising right now. I thought that Trey Zune, I mentioned that yesterday, guard, I think he's interior for A&M, didn't do well, but he was hurt. We talked about Demetrius Crownover, really good day one and pretty decent day two. Tackle for A&M. Scooby Williams, I didn't really watch him very much. Nate Borkirker, tight end from A&M. I need to look into him more because he made a big play to end the day, and then they maybe made another couple of catches. So he made a couple of big plays catching the ball. Potentially got to look into. And then obviously Lee Hunter, talked about him yesterday. I don't know if he was there today or if I just didn't focus as much. But yeah, he's a stud out of Tech, a nose tackle. Jacob Rodriguez, I don't think that's a fit for us, but that guy's an animal. He forced a fumble today, as well as had an interception. I want to say, guy was making plays. I did see Jacoby Lane, who I interviewed yesterday, in one-on-ones, made a pretty sick uh, juke or a cut on a route and get him for a touchdown. Let's see. People have been talking about Ephesians Priceock for Washington cornerback. He's really good. I haven't watched. I just heard it. But the Washington tackle was pretty good too. Carver Willis. I did see him make some plays. And I got to interview John Michael Gillenborg, tight end from Wyoming. Potential decent pick there. He's not as big as Sam Rush, or Rush. Man, I'm gonna call him Sam R. But seemed to have the great mentality. Enjoyed talking to him. So, yeah, Caleb Banks was the guy I was trying to say earlier. Brandon said, I thought Katron Allen's would be a good fit for us too. And he says, is it true that people at the Senior Bowl compared Malachi Fields to Nico Collins? I didn't look at Malachi Fields closely enough. Like I saw that big play and kind of heard some stuff and some clips, but I guess I'll have to wait to watch more on him and see all the details to really give you my 2 cents on that. Over on IG, I'm sorry if I've missed you. Let me see if I got any comments. Damn it. Montez says the Texans need to address Mixon first before we buy into running back hype in the draft and free agency. You still do your due diligence, and we're fans. You still look at all positions, and then everything works out the way it works out. Arthur Foxick, holy 6:25 a.m. and I'm catching a Stressan stream. Let's go. All right, where are you at, man? I appreciate the support. And so let's go to the X timeline and start winding down here. Because I'll probably grind some more, stuff on the Senior Bowl and maybe post some more content before my flight tomorrow morning. So can't stay up too late. All right, back to X, and let's just go through the timeline and kind of rehash some of the stuff we just talked about. So, and we're scrolling. We be scrolling. Right. No, Jennings Dunker, dude. What a stud. Man crush. All right. Still going. All right. Where else? Let's get down to a good point. Oh, I saw Big Dom today from the Eagles. Oh, Big Dom, dude. Legend. He was talking to like a Chiefs guy. I was like, hey, Dom, can I get a picture? And he's like, yeah, hold on a second. And then he came by and he's like, sorry, I'm taking care of business. I was like, all right, like total mobster answer, But yeah, let's just get to the point to where that was a good day, man. That was a good long day, fun day. This stuff is fun. I could do this more often. All right, so where do I want to stop? I think okay, right here's good. We'll start with my boy Keelan Rutledge. I got redemption on the interview. I got to get it done. Here we go. Keelan Rutledge.
All right, guys, I'm with Keelan Rutledge. I just wanted to ask you, what's your mindset when you play offensive line?
Finish the guy in the dirt, be the most physical guy out there. So move the point of attack, and that's what I'm looking to do every play.
And again, yesterday I had asked you, but if you don't mind repeating, talking about your toughness, the injury you had gone through, kind of what that was and how tough it was to not only play through that, but potentially put, lesser film out there and then bounce back the next year to prove yourself.
Yeah, it was a bad injury, bad car wreck. Had to deal with a lot with the foot. Long process with that. Didn't really come back necessarily, 100%. Just trying to battle through it. Slowly got better. And then this year I kind of got back to feeling really good and, played some better ball.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. I'm with Keelan Rutledge. I just wanted to ask you, what's your mindset?
Yeah, he's a dog, dude. Put him in the dirt. All right. Say less. Cody Stutes. Saw Cody again. Here's him posting a clip about Jennings Dunker.
Whatever they need, whatever position they're lacking in. I think I can play guard and tackle. I've been repping both during the Senior Bowl. I've been working on snapping a little bit with training for the combine and whatnot. So yeah, whatever they need. Probably not catching the ball, but other than that.
Anything besides catching the ball. All right, he's down for whatever. Arthur Foxick asked about Dom has so much ball knowledge. Oh no, the guy that I know that has so much ball knowledge is Johnny Dells. Check him out on YouTube. Johnny JONYDEL football, and he's a 49ers guy, and he breaks down film. He's insane. He's motivated me to learn more about the game. I should ask him about our offense. Yeah, maybe I'll do an episode with him to have him break it down, and I think you guys might enjoy that. Sam R, is I'm going to say, my new other draft crush, tight end from Stanford.
Stanford tight end. This morning I was listening to Todd McShay. I'm not sure if you're aware of him, but he's like the guru when it comes to draft and Senior Bowl. And you are one player he raved about. He said that next year you will win a Super Bowl. So
Nice.
what is it here to kind of get the praise from someone like Todd McShay to kind of shine that light on you?
Yeah, that's awesome. Obviously, I can control what I can control, and people will say what they want. Some people will say good things, and some people will say bad things. But ultimately, it's on me to kind of make that happen.
That's a good mindset there. Some people talk good, some people talk bad.
I think yesterday was a good day, and I'm going to continue building on that.
And so it sounds like the strength of your game would be blocking. Is that true? And then if that is true, where would you like to improve, or what are you trying to show this week?
Yeah, I'm an elite blocker, and I dominate in the run game. But I think my pass
I'm an elite blocker. I dominate in the run game. Say less.
game is underrated, and I bring a physical presence to the field. And, I can win one-on-one, and I want to prove that this week as well. That's one of the big things that I'm looking to not just improve my game, but show that I can do on a consistent basis.
And do you have any familiarity like in the split action as far as inside zone and duo? And do you like being on the move like that?
Yeah, we ran the crap out of duo at Stanford, and
Ran the crap out of duo, so the Texans.
inside zone is a little bit different, but if you're on the backside, you're in a C or man on, like a lot of times that becomes the front side. So similar in that sense, where the running back's gonna have to make a cut off you. And I love being at the front side of runs, and I like my odds versus the defensive ends. And
I like my odds versus the defensive end.
it's a fun block.
Also wham and trap blocks as well. I'm sure those are fun.
Wham, we ran a lot of wham
All right,
for this
love
past
to
year.
hear. Last question I got is, what is your mindset out there when you're playing?
Yeah, just looking to dominate. I like to play aggressive and play edgy, and that was kind of my goal yesterday. And I think I showed that, and got to continue to keep that mentality.
Texan. That's such a Texan right there, if I've ever seen one. Yeah, Mr. Optimistic posted this photo. I mean, that just screams football player right there. O lineman, Jennings Dunker. Here is James Brockermeyer, the center from Miami.
All right, James, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
I got to lead off. I played at Stephen Foston under Shannon Dawson. What's it like playing for Shannon Dawson?
Yeah, it was awesome. He's a great guy, great coach. He was really fun to get to know this year. He was the best. He did a lot for us this year, and he believed in me this year, and I'll always be really grateful to him. And I'm really glad I got the experience to play for him this year.
Awesome. And then as far as your game, how would you describe your game, like your mindset when you're out there, with your mentality?
Yeah, I think my mentality is just do whatever it takes to get the job done. Whether that's, if someone wants me to go reach too high and make a play, or, drive a guy off the ball or protect the quarterback. So whatever the situation requires, I think is, what I'm always trying to do, and do it at a high level. If they want us to drop back and throw the ball 50 times a game, we can do that. If we're going to go run duo 50 times a game, I think I can do that as well. So that's kind of what my mindset when I'm on the field.
And last one, just Cam Ward. Were you there when Cam Ward was there? Or?
I was not.
Okay. But do you hear about him from there? Like, what's like the stories you hear? Was he kind of a legend there after you left?
He is a legend. Yeah, when I first got there, everyone was just always talking about him, talking about his work ethic was the biggest part. I mean, a lot of people said he was at the facility at like 5 a.m. every day, just watching film, getting ready for the season. When you hear stories like that, and then you piece together the season he had in Miami, it all makes sense, and it definitely did not happen by accident.
Awesome.
Good dude. He also is used to running duo, so I mean, potential good fit there. Let's see. Here is Rutledge in a one-on-one.
Let's go.
I'm sorry. Double team, just
Look at
driving
him finish. Get him, Keelan.
There's my commentary on there as well. Here's the play I was talking about earlier with Dunker and Keelan together. I don't know if you can see much of that, but they both are pulling and got a pretty good run off of it. So, but yeah, Caleb Banks, dude, that's a battle, dude. Jake Slaughter and Caleb Banks, that's awesome. And then let's see here. Here is a couple double teams by Dunker. Driving the guy.
Little double team.
Yeah, so he's a dog. This is from yesterday. This is Sam, the tight end from Stanford. Inside releases, corner stays where he's at, still gets over the top, fights through the holding call, and then big target. So here is a couple of the Keelan's one-on-ones that I got. Let's see here. Good rep there against the SMU interior.
Oh, yeah, Keelan.
Lockdown right there. This is one where the guy went offsides. He's inside. I mean, yeah, can't win them all, but I mean, overall, the body of work's pretty damn good. And let's see what else we got. This is the A&M tight end I was talking about. Made a big catch. That was to end their practice. They made a couple big catches. All right, and then yeah, dude, this freaking John Carroll guy is a baller, dude. One up and got it. You got the mop. Dude, look, spike that shit. Let's go, dude. That guy's a baller, bro. Yeah, here's my interview with Chandler Rivers, the Duke defensive back.
All right, I'm here with Chandler from Duke, defensive back. Just telling him my good buddy is Jonathan Packey, the defensive coordinator. Let me know what your thoughts are about Jonathan Packey, man.
Yeah, that's my guy. He's a great coach, a great human being. We're always at his house for holidays, and he's just a great coach, great guy.
Brings the energy. Do y'all call him Pac-Man at all? We called him Pacquiao.
Nah, I've never called him that. But
okay.
I think a few of the guys do.
So what was it like for y'all's defense, be really a driving force for y'all to win the ACC championship? I bet that felt pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it felt pretty good.
Okay, and about you and yourself, how are you feeling about, how this week's going and things going forward?
I feel like it's been a pretty solid week for me, honestly. I have to put some good things on tape.
Okay, I appreciate it, Chandler.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm here with Chandler.
Shout out El Cadet 4189 says he saw me at the last home game. Appreciate that, man. Doing good. Hope you're doing well. And then let's see here. This was my interview with another Duke player, Vincent Anthony. He's got some, fire to his game.
What do you got to say about Jonathan Packey, man?
Man, hell of a play caller, hell of a coach. We really got after it this season, and just talking to him, just learning how he knows the game and learning what I know of the game and just putting it together. You know what I'm saying? We made something special happen, especially having guys like me, Chan, and, Wes, Aaron up front. We really got after it up front.
And does he blitz as much as he does on NCAA?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we get after Pat.
This guy's an Omega too. He's got an Omega brand right here on his abdomen, and he's got one on his arm.
That's with the blitz for sure.
Okay, and about you personally, man, how's this week going for you, and how you feeling going forward into this draft process?
This week is going great. I came out yesterday with a statement, and then today I just built on top of it, and so just keep going, just stacking days, and I'm just excited. Just take it each day by day, but I'm excited to see what comes next.
And I saw you in one of your one-on-one reps kind of getting after it.
Yeah.
It seems like you got an attitude, and I actually sent it to Packy, and he said, we got dogs around here.
Yeah.
So go through that mindset of your,
Right. It started really just from practicing that Duke, fall camp, spring ball, we're going to get after it. And, I know that's what people wanted to be seeing. They know I can rush the passer on the edge, but I show a little power, be aggressive in that. So just keep adding that, just keep building up. But we got them dogs up at Duke.
I bet, man. If you're with Packy, you got to be.
Yeah, we play football at Duke for sure.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
We play football at Duke. That's dope. Yeah, they're on the up and up, man. They won the ACC. And then, I played football at CNF Austin. Here's Charles Demings. I got a chance to interview him, and as I'm interviewing him, we kind of get ushered out. So I had.
All right, guys, I'm here with my fellow lumberjack, man. How we doing the Senior Bowl, bro?
Oh man, I ain't gonna lie, man. What a foundation I done laid right now for day one to day two. Man.
Yeah.
That leaves the rest of the day, man. I still got a chance to be the best version of myself.
Awesome. And so just speak on, being an FCS school, you got a chip on your shoulder. How you gonna prove what you got?
Yeah, man, and actually tell you the truth, man, it don't feel like it's a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Because take off the logos on our helmets, and take off the jerseys.
Yeah.
who are we being?
Yep.
So
right.
all I'm doing is I'm here to prove that I belong here. So it don't feel like a chip on my shoulder. I'm just here to show that I belong and give another outlet to the FCS guys out there to show them that they got it too. There is no difference between us and FBS players.
Awesome. All right, guys, I'm here with my fellow
That
Lumberjack.
was a great answer, dude. Very impressed by that. Here's Dunker on the O-line play.
So, like, I guess from the outside, what people would think when you play with different guys, it would be super weird, but I think all of the offensive linemen are pretty similar. So we all kind of goof around together. We've known each other for like 5 days, but we're already playing really well together. I don't know if anybody had any MAs yesterday, and we're all making calls together, communicating really well. I mean, we'll go to the O-line room early and just kind of jack around. We eat meals together. We'll all sit down at the same table and talk and hang out, and even though we're competing against each other also. So it's kind of the awesome thing about offensive line. I can only speak on how the whole line is. I don't know about other position groups, how they interact with each other, but that's how it always is with O-line, really.
He's awesome, dude. He's awesome. Yeah, just going through the rest, scrolling. Yes, Draft Jennings, I agree, JJ. He is awesome. Yeah, here's the catch I was talking about from the Notre Dame receiver. What's his name again? I'm brain fried, but yeah, homeboy from Notre Dame. Yeah, dude, look at that. Look at that. The ball should be over here. Great adjustment, great catch, bro. That was impressive. And this was sick to end the day. Oh, he threw his ass down. Who is that? Number 77 from Auburn. Bro, what a dog, dude. That was sick. And then, yeah, Jeremy Bonham posted that Bucky Brooks mock drafted Caleb Banks to the Texans. I wouldn't be mad at it, man. I know we need interior line, but and then the Arkansas linebacker Xavier Sori, who I told you about, who made plays, got to interview him.
All right, guys, I'm here with linebacker Xavier Sori with Arkansas, man. He had a great day today. How you feeling after today's practice, man?
I felt good. It was competitive and got out there and competed with some top athletes.
And one of the plays I couldn't help but notice was you blowing up an offensive lineman and causing a tackle for loss. Like, what's your mindset to be able to do something like that?
Just be violent. Be violent and go get them.
And then the following series, you come up with an interception. So how can you go from being like a game record to also being a playmaker? What's the balance there?
Just listen to my coach and do the right things and, just play ball and have fun.
Awesome. Appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm here with
he's just a baller.
Sorry with Arkansas.
Yep. And then if you look at Dunker on this play, pretty good on the double team. You can see at the end, but he's beating up that backer. I don't know if you can tell that well from it's minimizing it, but yeah, I mean, just look at the guy, dude. He's just a football player. He's an O-lineman. Let's look at him. Would you look at it? Yeah, would you just look at it? I mean, this is him just hanging out. He is a vibe, dude. Look at that guy. I mean, just off vibes alone, yes, draft him. And here's all of his one-on-one reps from day one. You want to do this? Let's watch that. Yeah. All of them from one-on-one. That's the homeboy from Duke that we just talked to. Homeboy from Duke again. Sorry, bro. That's a Penn State edge rusher. Pretty good. Wins that one. This guy is just a unit, dude. Look at this one. Yep, wins that one. He hasn't lost yet. Hand fighting, gets pushed back, but I would still consider that a win, potentially. This one survives a strong arm, kind of 50-50 on that one. So, I mean, yeah, dude, he's got the stuff. He's got the juice. And then, yeah, my boy Johnny Dills, this is him. This is him talking to Jake Slaughter with much more I don't really need that. That's more so Niners focus about, communicating, the calls at center or protection. So here's Will Kasmerick. Again, pronunciation probably wrong. tight end from Ohio State. Had a chance to interview him, and here
Hi,
that
guys.
is.
Will, obviously there's a lot of Ohio State Buckeyes on the Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud, Cade Stover, etc. What would it mean? Obviously, I'm sure you're willing to go wherever, but what would it be to be with those guys?
I got a small chance to work with Cade Stover. A couple of workouts when I transferred in, but wasn't fortunate to play with him. So it'd be awesome to be on that team with those guys and get to know him even more, and again be surrounded by the best.
I couldn't help, when scouting you and watching your tape, a couple plays against Michigan, 2 plays where you kind of had a couple pancakes. What goes into it for you and your game and your mindset to allow you to do that sort of thing?
I just feel like every game, every year of football, I've been, somewhat an underdog, and I just kind of use it as fuel. I mean, on the field, I'm just completely different than off the field, and I think you got to use that to your advantage, and then, that really showed up on the big stage.
And so would you say blocking is probably your strength, and then specifically maybe in split action on, kickouts and maybe some wham and trap blocks?
Yeah, some may say, and I believe it too.
Okay. Well, yeah, so with that being said, are you familiar with running a lot of duo scheme concepts?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right.
A lot of good fits at tight end with the split action and the duo concept. So we got options, man, if we want a blocking tight end. And here's a somewhat of a lengthy and funny bit with Todd McShay talking about Sam. I guess I'll know how to pronounce his last name because he'll say it correctly. Now here we go.
And every once in a while, you have to steal a guy from me, and every once in a while, I steal a guy from you. And I don't even know if you
appreciate it, Julian.
Sam Roush is quickly becoming one of my favorite players in the entire 2026 draft. Stanford tight end. This guy, man. 117 catches the last 3 years. That doesn't sound like an insane number. Go watch that quarterback play the last 3 years. 117 catches is like mind-blowing. Sam Roush is first of all, like right off the bat, find me a more physical, better blocker at tight end in this class. Okay? So check that box. He's nasty. He's tough. He's built for it. Mm-hmm. This guy is like, it's pedigree. Stanford brings in historically damn good tight ends, and he was supposed to be next up. He just didn't know the program was going to collapse around him. So he comes here, and I'm like, yeah, I want to see this guy. I've heard a lot of good things. Seen a little bit on tape. He's an inline blocker, hand in the dirt. I'm watching an NFL.
Thanks for the comment, Lucas. It says J-Rod probably forced about 3 fumbles the last 2 days. Dunker is going to be a damn dog at the next level. Fundamentally sound OT. Footwork has been some of the best out of O-line, all O-line out there. Awesome. Well, are you out here? Or are you just watching on NFL Network? But I appreciate that's good stuff right there. Appreciate that, man.
Tight end. I'm watching a guy with the coordination, the instincts, head around, hands up. Like the coordination is a word that kept coming back to me. Like, in the NFL, when you throw the ball.
Man, what the frick, dude? I got a TV right here. Rockets are winning at half up big, and now they're down 7 to the Spurs. They better win. So let's keep an eye on
to a
that.
tight end, and you're like, oh, it feels good. Contested. Big hands. My ball. Right? As a quarterback, when you throw a ball to a tight end that you trust, it's like it's like coming downstairs in a snowstorm and having like a warm, like an oatmeal. It's like oatmeal. Tight ends are oatmeal.
That might be the worst one yet.
No, it's soothing. It's comfort. It's like you feel like you get something nutritious in you. You can go like be a lumberjack and hack down wood. Roush is oatmeal. I love this guy. I'm telling you, he's going to be like a 4th round pick. Remember?
If we get him, I'm going to have that clip and sit it all the time. Roush is oatmeal.
Like Gunnar Helm, he can't run. He got shot in the leg at the combine. Certain tight ends just got it, man. He's going to average 11 or 12 yards per catch. He's going to be in the league for 12 years. He's going to block in line. He's going to catch passes in the AFC or NFC championship game. He's going to catch passes in the Super Bowl. This guy's going to win a Super Bowl.
Man, we talking about JJ? The Rockets beat the Spurs last time. I'm in a group chat with my buddies, like 4 friends, and they're mostly from San Antonio, from Incarnate Word, and they're all Spurs fans, but we also like the Astros. It's an Astros group chat. And I bet them last time that when they played, it's the winner of this game gets to change the name to Rockets and like a Rockets logo. So, and then it's been about a week since we played them last, and so we ran it back and said, okay, now same thing. So I got a lot on the line here. If they lose, I have to look at a Spurs logo for a week in a group chat.
He's going to win it. Sam Roush is going to win a Super Bowl, and it's
by himself.
It's the football gods paying him back for what happened to him the last few years at Stanford. This guy is too damn good a football player to be mired in misery anymore. He's going to be a mid-round pick, and Sam Roush is going to play a critical role in winning a Super Bowl.
While selling oatmeal.
As a
lumberjack.
While serving as a quarterback's oatmeal. All right, we're next.
Pretty funny. Here is Jennings Dunker talking about, I don't know.
Watching the tape last night and this morning. Definitely took a lot of notes away.
Yeah.
Just some things to improve on today and getting ready to rock and roll.
Right. Do you approach a speed rusher versus a power rusher any differently, or is it all the same to you?
I mean, your initial set it might change. I mean, it kind of depends on their alignment. You still got to set inside out.
Yeah.
You just kind of set inside out and see what they're doing.
What would you
say?
What would you say from your freshman year to now, the thing you probably improved the most upon?
I would say being like pre-snap plan. So like your freshman year, like installing the new playbook, like you're just trying to block the right guy, and then going from that to like maturing a little bit and being a little bit older. It's kind of like, okay, what's the snap count? What's the play? What's my red flag? Like, what can I not do? What can I not do to lose the play?
Yeah.
And then what's one thing I need to work on? So like every day you go into practice, one thing in the run, one thing in the pass, and then you cue yourself. So like let's say my left foot wasn't square, it'd be like, okay, so on this pass I keep my left foot square. So just kind of working on one thing, run one thing, pass every day, and that's how you improve.
All right, last question. What would you want coaches and GMs to know about you that they wouldn't?
I don't know why he keeps squinting his eyes, though. Hopefully his vision is good.
Got from watching the tape.
I would hope they see this from the tape, but just I'm ready to rock and roll and ready to hit. I'm ready to start up.
I got to bookmark that. I'm ready to rock and
How do you
roll.
feel
I'm
like
ready
your
to
first day
hit.
of
I'm ready
practice?
to start up. That was via Book of Eli _NFL on X. Sorry if I haven't been shouting out people's videos. But yeah, man, Caleb Banks, bro. Let's just watch this. So he had a underwhelming day relative to his ability today, and I believe the season he had was battling through a foot injury or coming off injury, and so potentially fell because of that. But here's him today. I mean, ragdoll the guard, ragdoll. That was slaughter. Busting through, teabag and Nussmeier. Oh my gosh, dude. Let's look at this guy. I mean, dude, God, he went off today. So, I mean, I know we want to know lineman first, but I mean, if he's there, and depending on how things shake out, I am not mad about it. Crit on X says, wonder if they will get a Christian Harris replacement in the draft. Yeah, so I mean, I think Jamal Hill hopefully can step into that role, which Harris really wasn't playing much linebacker. He kind of got relegated to special teams. But my guess would be, I would not be surprised, given D'Amico's history, getting like a 5th-round pick on a backer and having them be a developmental piece that could be something down the road. So I wouldn't be surprised by it. Zion Young, he's pretty good. This is a edge rusher from Missouri. Yeah, that was crazy. Ran through that guy. Let's see here. What else we got? Texas Tech's edge, Romello Height, pretty dang good. And I think we are. Here's the Arizona State tackle we were talking about against Derek Moore, who's a damn good edge out of Michigan. And look at this fight at the end. He kind of gets chippy, slapped him back in the face, dude. Dog. If we want to get a tackle, that's the attitude we need, dude. If we need to get a tackle, you want to kick Titus into guard, that's an option there. But yeah, I think also too, I have a couple I didn't post I can share via my camera roll. Let me see if I can do that. Who was it? John Michael, I believe, is his name, from the tight end out of Wyoming. Let's see. Wyoming tight end John John Michael, yeah, I was right. All right, so let me go to present. This is exclusive content. No one's seen this yet. Very exclusive. Share screen. And can I not window? There we go. Share. All right. I don't know how it looks for y'all on y'all's end. If it's, let's just go. Sorry, this is new for me. Whatever. It'll be not the biggest, but can I not play this damn thing? Play the dang. We're here to play the game. All right. Oh, y'all can't hear it? Huh. Interesting. Let me try this real quick. Let me see if I can, all right, give me one sec to exit out of the sharing screen, remove. Let me try and just upload it as a file. Let's see. Video file. That's the way to do it. All right. And photos. And that's the way we got to do it. Can I not open that? I mean, what are we doing here, fellas? What's going on? Will it be under movies? No, it won't. Sorry. This is now you got to look at my mug right here. Me, I feel like I'm like the cable guy, Jim Carrey at the door, looking through. Let's see here. All right. Let me try video file. That's what I did, dude. Video file. John Michael, where you at, bro? Oh, it has to load. That's why. All right, give it a second. It's loading. I'm gonna talk for like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 seconds. Rockets are now down 107 to 96, and that sucks. I'm gonna have to deal with a bad group chat.
John
All
Michael,
right.
John, how you doing today?
There we
man?
go. I did it.
Oh, doing good. So, how would you assess your performance so far these first couple of days?
It's been pretty good. Everything they've asked me to do, I've been doing it with the best intent and effort. And I think coming out here and learning and growing and playing with this level of talent is always fun as a competitor. So I think myself and the other tight ends that are here have done a great job.
And how would you say you approach the game as a tight end? Mindset-wise, if you have like a certain mindset.
I think there's kind of 2 or 3 ways, I guess, to approach it. It's pass pro, run game, pass game, and depending on whatever the play is, it requires a certain level of intent and execution, whatever the play is. And so I think in general, just being as consistent of a tight end that I can be all around is kind of the way that I want to approach my improvement at the position.
And if you had to say like blocking, do you prefer, the split action or inline, or either one you're fine with, or do you have a favorite type of block or play?
I like split zone. I like just running and putting my shoulder on someone. Or like head up, just like power. I prefer that kind of stuff.
So we do a lot of split action, kicking
That's
out.
awesome. I guess last question would be, obviously Wyoming may be a school that some people may kind of overlook. So does that kind of go into you here coming up with other people, kind of proving yourself in that sense, or?
Yeah, I think a little bit, just naturally. I haven't played consistently at this level with this type of talent, and that doesn't take anything away from the talent that's in the Mountain West, but everyone kind of knows it's just a different level. So coming out here and playing with these boys has been a lot of fun, and certainly there's a little bit of a chip coming from a quote-unquote smaller school.
Awesome. Here with John.
With the best intent and
I'm
effort.
impressed by him. I'm eager to watch more of his tape, but yeah. So blocking tight end, knew him or the other kid you like. Yeah, I mean, we got plenty of time to figure this out. I mean, we could address tight end in free agency too. Some people may think that tight end's not as big of a deal, but I think we do need a blocking tight end. Cade Stover being hurt, and then Cade Stover seemed like he was being a good blocking tight end, kind of fizzled out. But like, we have to have a good blocking tight end, man. We have to. Like, if we're going to be a team like split action is when we all see like when the tight end is motioning at the snap, or once the snap happens, he's running right behind the line of scrimmage. That's the split action. We'll do that, and he'll either kick out the edge, or he'll either do that and insert and block a backer. But like we do that, and then we like to run boots and then throw it to them in the flat. So, but like we do that and then run duo and then inside zone and then play action. And it's like the staple of our offense, like split action. And occasionally you can do it and run like a wham, or do it later and then let the nose tackle come up and hit him. But yeah, we got to find someone who can do that, dude. Like, and the Will guy, Sam, I already forgot his last name again, Roosh, John Michael. But yeah, there's plenty of tight ends that seemingly can do that. So, but yeah, that's all I got, fellas. I was an hour and 20 minutes. Damn, did not mean to go that long. But hey, love talking to you guys. But yeah, I mean, J Max says get Kenyon first. Kenyon Sadiq is nice. But yeah, we'll get into all the other prospects as we go along. But appreciate you guys. Thanks for the support. And I don't know when I'll go live next, but hopefully some articles in the works. And as always, subscribe on all platforms, website if you want some merch, if you want a polo like this, or whatever it may be. Rockets are down now 111 to 96. I mean, what a choke job. Whatever, but appreciate you guys. Until next time, we bless them.